What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. Got another Week 5 preview prediction video up for you here. We're going to stick in the Pac-12 today, and we're going to go to this one that's going to take place in Boulder, Colorado. It's the big noon kickoff game, as you guys will find out later. We got the USC Trojans and the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado trying to bounce back from really getting plastered by Oregon last week. USC looking to bounce back as well after a subpar performance against Arizona State. We'll talk about this game here in just a little bit, but first, want to thank you guys for all the support the channel has seen as of late. It means the world to me. If you want to continue to help support the channel and you haven't done so already, the biggest way you can do so is hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you also know when videos get uploaded. But there are more ways than that to help me support this channel. You guys are doing one of them right now just by watching this video, and you guys can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, and really anything else you guys are willing and are able to do to help me support this channel. But without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive in and talk about this one. And again, both teams really looking to bounce back from last week. Obviously, Colorado's looking to bounce back from, of course, not only their first loss of the season, but a honestly pretty embarrassing one at that. Just a good old-fashioned butt kicking, as their head coach Deion Sanders has said. But when you take a look at the USC Trojans, they're looking to bounce back as well, again, after a subpar performance there against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Not a team that that's really looked that great up to this point in Arizona State. So let's go ahead and dive into the stats here. And I think we all know what we're going to get here with this game, but we are going to dive into like the individual stats here. I think we both know kind of what these teams are made of, but in case you don't, USC, we're going to start with them as they are the visiting team coming into Boulder, Colorado. The USC offense is unlike any other offense in college football. They're in the conversation to be the best in college football this season. Caleb Williams is making a strong case on why he should be a repeat Heisman winner. 12,000 yards on the dot, 15 touchdowns, 74.3% completion percentage. He's playing out of his mind. He's playing really, really well. This is a rushing attack that has really come along and played really, really well as well. You got three different guys that are averaging at least 8 yards per carry. Marshawn Lloyd, who is the leading rusher. Austin Jones has performed really, really well. And then Quentin Joyner is back there as well. Lloyd has ended up being the lead back for this team this year. Austin Jones played that backup role. Oh, yeah, and then you have Caleb Williams, who hasn't been super effective with his legs for the most part. He's made some really big plays, though, including a 46-yard run, does have 3 touchdowns. And I think we all know what this offense is really made of here with the USC Trojans. It's high-powered. It's high-tempo. You got a lot of great wide receivers there. Already 6 guys with at least 100 receiving yards on the young season. And I mean, this offense just really clicking on all cylinders. The offensive line's only allowed 5 sacks. Again, this is the USC offense that has just really been moving so far throughout this season. Now, when you take a look at the defensive side, this is definitely the area in which USC fans wanted to see this team improve. They wanted to see this team get better defensively, and I think in many ways they have, especially in what this pass rush has been able to do. They've generated 16 sacks so far on the season. Solomon Byrd leading the way of that with 4.5 sacks. Jamil Muhammad has 3. You have Tackett Curtis and Romello Height that each have 2 there. Again, just 16 sacks total generated on the season. You also have 16 passes defended from this defense, not forcing as many turnovers as they were last year, but still forcing turnovers. You got 6 of them, but it's a defense that is coming off not a great performance there against Arizona State. They were able to hold their own, played a very, very inspired game, and were able to go out there and give this USC defense some struggles. And there have been times throughout really every game that USC has played this year where the defense has struggled, right? And it's going to get a really good test here when it plays a high-octane, high-powered Colorado offense that's honestly just coming off an uncharacteristic performance here. Of course, Travis Hunter is out. We all know that, right? Travis Hunter is a big part to not only what this team does offensively, but defensively. More on that later. But as far as offensively, I mean, Shedeur Sanders has been one of the most impressive quarterbacks in the nation so far. 1,410 yards. I mean, that's one of the top marks in the entire country here. 11 touchdowns to just 1 interception with almost 77% completion percentage. He has many, many great weapons. Xavier Weaver, Jimmy Horn. We all know about Travis Hunter, and then Dylan Edwards out of the backfield has been really, really good. But speaking of the backfield, this team as a whole, rushing the football, has just not been very good, right? 117 carries for only 223 yards. Guys, that's under 2 yards per carry. So this is a team that relies heavily on the pass game of Shedeur Sanders. It hasn't really been able to get the run game going, not because there isn't talent in the running back room. It just really has struggled to get going because also this offensive line has really, really struggled in run protection. They haven't really been able to create holes, and especially in pass protection there, you see that number 23 sacks allowed on the season through 4 games. That has to be the worst mark in the country so far. That is not official as far as my knowledge goes, but just not a great stat, averaging 5.75 sacks per game, and they're really going to get tested here again when they have to go against the USC defensive front that's been able to put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. And speaking of defense, well, this is the Colorado defense that's going to have to step up some way or another with all the great offenses that the Pac-12 Conference has this year. They weren't able to do it against Oregon, and if you thought Oregon was a tough test offensively, this is a USC team that has a Heisman winner and is loaded at every single position grouping offensively. It's a defense that has really struggled. Now, it has forced turnovers. It has forced 11 turnovers on the season. Again, a couple of them have kind of been some surefire turnovers, as I've mentioned before. The third down defense, though, has not been great. The rush defense has not been great. The pass defense has not been great. It's got to buckle its chin straps and really get down to business, get down and dirty here in this game. And I think Deion Sanders knows what they're up against, which leads me into my keys for the game, what to watch for, just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you are tuning in to this game. We'll talk about where you can watch it here in just a little bit, but we are going to start with the keys for the game for the USC Trojans. Offensively, keep the foot on the gas pedal. It's what Oregon did last week, and it's what USC is going to have to do this week here as well, right? The offense is definitely going to need to be able to score a lot of points, given what Colorado has been able to do this year as well, apart from the game last week. But Oregon really put together such an inspiring performance. I think coming back home will be a good thing for Colorado. I think they'll be able to jumpstart this offensive team, or I should say really be able to jumpstart this team offensively, but that does not mean USC can let up. They got to keep going on the offensive gas pedal. The defense is going to be able to create pressure. We've seen that, right? They forced 16 sacks on the young season, and USC has been really, really good at creating pressure to quarterbacks early. But are they going to be able to fully stop? Are they going to be able to slow down what Shedeur and company have up their sleeves? Again, even though Travis Hunter's not playing, Shedeur still has a lot of very, very talented weapons. And although the run game has not been able to really get going here, you still got some really good talented pieces in that running back room. USC, as I've mentioned, has not really forced the turnovers it did last year, but can they win the turnover battle in this game on Saturday? Again, Colorado, they've won the turnover battle in most games that they have played this season, especially when you go back and look at games earlier in the year like TCU and Nebraska. They were able to win those games partly because they won the turnover battle. That's something USC did really well last year. They may have to do it here in this game as well. But let's move into the keys for the game for Colorado. This game, probably 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100 times, I think these two teams play this year. If college football was like Major League Baseball, you played that many games. This game is going to be a surefire shootout, right? Both of these teams are going to give it their all offensively, and both these teams at times really have struggled defensively, but other weapons need to step up for Colorado, especially with Travis Hunter out. You're definitely going to have to get this run game going. This offensive line needs to show up now, and that is my second key here. It did not have a great performance last week against Oregon. It needs to step up and play really, really big here if Colorado's going to want to walk away with a win here against the USC Trojans. The offensive line has got to stay home. It's got to stay strong. It's got to keep these USC defenders out of the backfield. And when you move over to the defensive side of the ball, it's going to have to step up in a big way as well. This is one of the most talented offensive teams in the entire nation. You got your returning Heisman winner coming back at quarterback, probably the #1 overall NFL draft pick there with Caleb Williams as well. And the defense, again, especially without Travis Hunter, are going to have to step up, are going to have to force turnovers. And not only that, they're probably going to have to force some stops there as well. It leads me into my prediction. USC is the 21.5-point favorite. FPI really likes them here, and I don't think there's any doubt in really a whole lot of people's mind that USC is going to win this game. However, I do think it is going to be a little bit closer than what Vegas thinks, and I think Colorado's going to have their moments here where it seems like the momentum is going to start to shift, right? I feel like this game is going to be a very nice rebound game for Colorado. Do I think they are going to win? No, I think USC is just too talented offensively, and Colorado has too many weaknesses defensively and on the offensive line. But there will be moments in this game where Colorado kind of feels like the momentum is starting to shift, and maybe they take it to USC. Maybe they have a lead at some point here in this game, but the USC defensive line will make too many plays, and especially this USC offense will score enough points to be able to win this matchup here. I got the USC Trojans winning 49-34. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And hey, as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.